When we think about ancient philosophers, some names might spring to mind. Plato, Aristotle, maybe Confucius. But there's one name that stands above them all in terms of pure awesomeness. And if you know anything about ancient Greece, then you already know who I'm talking about. Yes, today we are going to dive into the life, death, and teachings of the great Socrates. He was an Athenian citizen of ancient Greece who is credited with founding Western philosophy. He's considered one of the most influential figures in the history of Western thought, and his ideas have had a profound impact on the way we think about the world and ourselves. One of the most famous quotes of Socrates is, "I know that I know nothing." This quote perfectly encapsulates the essence of Socrates and his approach to knowledge. For Socrates, the pursuit of wisdom was not about accumulating facts or mastering a subject, but rather about recognizing the limits of one's own understanding. He believed that true wisdom comes from recognizing how much we do unknow, rather than from pretending to have all the answers. What makes this quote so powerful is that it challenges us to be humble in our knowledge and to be open to learning from others. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with information and where there is a constant pressure to be an expert on everything, it can be refreshing and liberating to remember that we don't need to have all the answers. We can learn to embrace the unknown and to find joy in the process of discovery. Overall, I know that I know nothing is a timeless and universal truth that continues to resonate with people all over the world today. It is a reminder that we should never stop learning and that we should always be open to new ideas and perspectives. But it wasn't just this quote that made Socrates so great, He had many other quotes that were just as impactful, These quotes often dealt with themes of virtue, justice, and the nature of reality, He believed that the unexamined life was not worth living, and that we all have a duty to strive for excellence in all aspects of our lives. He also believed that the true purpose of life is to live a virtuous and just life. These are all incredibly powerful messages that continue to be relevant today. So, what was the secret behind Socrates' wisdom? How did he manage to come up with such profound insights into the human condition? The answer, my friends, lies in his method, his way of thinking. You see, Socrates didn't just sit around and contemplate the mysteries of the universe. He went out into the world and he asked questions. Questions, my friends, are the key to unlocking the secrets of wisdom. Through asking the right questions, Socrates was able to help others see the flaws in their own reasoning and to challenge their beliefs and assumptions. He was not afraid to ask even the most difficult and controversial questions. And in doing so, he forced people to confront the deepest truths of themselves. His questioning technique was so powerful that it became known as the Socratic method. This method has been used by philosophers and teachers for centuries to help others think critically and to challenge their beliefs. It is a method that has stood the test of time because it works. So next time you want to learn something new or you want to understand a complex topic, remember the power of questions. Don't be afraid to ask those tough questions that challenge your assumptions. That is the best way to learn and grow. One of the most famous dialogues in Plato's work is the Apology of Socrates. It recounts the famous trial of Socrates and his defense against charges of impiety and corrupting the youth of Athens. Let's take a deeper look at this story and see what lessons we can learn from it. The trial of Socrates was a pivotal moment in the history of Western thought. It was a clash between traditional Athenian values and the new ideas that Socrates was introducing to the city. The charges against him were serious, and the penalties for conviction were severe. Yet, Socrates refused to flee or to compromise his principles. He chose to stay in Athens and to defend himself against the charges. What was the outcome of this trial? Well, you'll have to keep watching to find out. As a philosopher, Socrates had a duty to seek the truth wherever it may lead him. He couldn't just ignore the problems in Athenian society or pretend that everything was perfect. He had to speak out against injustice and call for reform. This often put him at odds with the political and religious authorities in Athens, who saw him as a threat to the status quo. They accused him of impiety and corrupting the youth because he was challenging their beliefs and values. However, Socrates was not deterred by these accusations. He knew that he was on the right path and that his work was important. He continued to question the Athenians and to expose the flaws in their thinking until the end. The trial of Socrates was a tragic event, but it was also a heroic one. Socrates showed courage and conviction in the face of adversity. He was willing to sacrifice his own freedom and ultimately his life for his beliefs. This is a powerful lesson for us all. No matter what challenges we may face, we should never give up on our principles or compromise our integrity. Socrates was a true hero, and his legacy continues to inspire people around the world today. Another key aspect of Socrates' teachings was his focus on ethics and morality. He believed that the purpose of life was to be good and to strive for excellence. This is reflected in another famous quote of Socrates: "Be the change that you wish to see in the world." This quote is a call to action for anyone who wants to make a positive impact on the world. It reminds us that we cannot simply complain about the state of the world. We must be proactive and take steps to make the changes that we want to see. Socrates believed that we all have the power to make a difference in the world, no matter how small that difference may seem. By striving to be good ourselves, we can help to create a better world for everyone. This is a message that is just as relevant today as it was in ancient Greece. We live in a world that is often characterized by selfishness and greed. It can be easy to get caught up in our own problems and to ignore the needs of others. But Socrates reminds us that we must not lose sight of our ethical and moral responsibilities. We must be compassionate and helpful towards others, and we must be willing to make sacrifices for the greater good. In conclusion, the life and teachings of Socrates continue to inspire and influence people all over the world today. His unwavering commitment to truth, his courage in the face of adversity, and his focus on ethics and morality are timeless lessons that we can all learn from. Whether we are students of philosophy or simply trying to make sense of the world around us, Socrates' wisdom can guide us on our journey. So let us embrace the power of questions. Let us strive to be the change we want to see in the world. And let us never forget the importance of ethics and morality in our lives. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Till next time, stay curious and keep asking questions.